Hey everybody, I wanted to just make a quick presentation to help you recognize some of the value that you have in BNI and what makes BNI different. So in this video, I'm going to cover some important topics and let you know some of the resources that you have available to you to become the kind of BNI member that you want to be and to ultimately help our chapter to grow and succeed. So, start now with me. We're gonna kind of do sort of a thought experiment. Like here we are, and we have our BNI group, right? What if we decided that we were just tired of the dues or this rule or that rule, and we decided that we wanted to start our own new networking group, and and so like let's look at what are some of the things that we could do. So like there could be little spin-offs, right? Other networks, kind of BNI or be a nice try. That's the little alliterations I came up with. So like let's look at what are the things that maybe we could duplicate in our new networking group that would be outside of BNI. Okay, so let's look at this from the perspective of what could we copy that's in BNI and add that to our new networking group. So probably the first and most obvious thing would be the agenda. Could we copy the agenda? And it turns out that we probably could. We could just take that, we could go through, read the same words, we could have weekly presentations, education moment, purpose and overview, everything like that. The agenda would be easy to copy and we could still probably run a pretty good meeting, right? What about the structure? So in our new group, could we have a president? Could you have a visitor host team? Could you have an education coordinator? Could you have like the same types of meetings and the same timing, meet on the same days? Yeah, you could definitely do that. What about referrals? So our attitude towards referrals, could it be the same? Could we emphasize, qualified referrals over leads? Could we track those referrals? Yeah, we could definitely do that too. What about one-to-ones? Could we encourage members of our networking group to meet outside of our normal meetings and have one-to-ones, develop better relationships, power teams, things like that? Yeah, we'll put another check mark there. What about thank you for closed business? Could we track the actual amount of money that was made as a result of referrals in the chapter and track that? Thank people for that during the meeting. Certainly, we could do that. What about training? So with BNI, we get a lot of training, and this is actually where we start to make a difference because this is the thing that is the most unique whenever you consider BNI versus other networking groups. Even the category exclusiveness, that's something that exists in other groups. And so the thing that's most unique about BNI is the training. And so let's look at why BNI offers such a unique training opportunity. So let's ask the question, what does a BNI education get you? Well, first of all, most of us are doing our continuing education units through podcasts. Right now, there is over 104 hours of podcasts, which means that there's over 4 days of programming. You would have to be sitting there listening to Ivan Meisner give 10-minute podcasts for 4 days without sleep or taking a break in order to get through every podcast that's available. And so if we started up a new group, there is no library of podcasts that's that deep that we can get. There's also over 15 books that are written by Dr. Meisner, and this doesn't even count the networking books that have been written by other BNI members. There's over 1,200 blog posts. I stopped at 1,200. There's way over 1,200. That was just blog posts from Ivan Meisner's website. There are numerous BNI blogs written by thousands of different members and little spin-off groups and everything like that. And so there's just a wealth of information that's out there at our disposal. I stopped counting at 1,200 because 1,200 I think makes the point nicely. Then there's advanced training. So Coming up soon, we have an advanced training from our director. He's going to come and spend a whole day with us, training us on things specifically that our chapter needs to grow and to reach our goals. We have weekly education moments, 3 to 5 minutes a week. But consistency is the key. We're consistently learning about how to be better networks or better networkers and getting better. We have our annual chapter success training, which we just completed, where we devote about 4 hours to sitting down, learning how to become better at what we do. There's member success training, which I don't know if you know this, but you can repeat member success over and over. You don't just have to do that when you're first joining BNI. You're welcome to enroll in that and do it again. It's a good refresher, and it's a good way to remember like how to do a really great weekly presentation, how to develop a power team, how to find the right people within a chapter to make your BNI experience everything that it should be. There's mind shares once a month. You can get together, get some special training, network with other people and other groups. And so that extended network is a huge opportunity for more education, training, and opportunities to network with other people. And this is all based on over 30 years of institutional knowledge. So that's really the big disadvantage that we would have if we decided to go start some spin-off group, is that we would be flushing 30 years of institutional knowledge, 30 years of people making mistakes, doing it the right way, finding better ways, and then finding even better ways than those better ways to do things. We'd be flushing all that down the toilet. And so those are the things that you get from a BNI education. So really the question becomes why? Why would you do that? It is why we pay the dues. It is why we join the chapter. It is why we show up every week. It's because we have a proven system here with over 30 years of institutional knowledge and education and so many opportunities to be trained by people and trained with people who are really experts in networking and helping people to grow their business. And so if I went out today and for my business, I wanted to hire a new marketing team, I would have to take the time to train those people. I wouldn't even be sure what kind of people I was getting. There's no guarantee those people are going to play by a set of rules, and I would have to manage each and every one of them. And so it's not just the cost of paying each and every one of those people to go out and market my business, but there's also the risks that are involved with maybe they're not good at it, right? And so we have a culture and an expectation and an infrastructure that allows us to serve as a marketing team for each other. And so that's one of the reasons why BNI is incredibly effective. It's a really great system to be a part of and work within. So let's talk about some of the tools that you have at your disposal to really maximize the value of the institutional knowledge and the training and education you can get through BNI. And what I'm going to be talking about here is some of the things that we're going to be providing in our chapter that are going to allow you to get all the education that you can want and need. So there should never be a reason that you feel like you don't know what you're doing, or you don't know how to invite a guest or find a referral for somebody or have a one-to-one or anything like that. Number one is the chapter library. So when you're walking into the meeting or you're walking out, towards the entrance, there is a table that is full of books. Those books are available for you. So you can check out a book. When you read a book, you get multiple continuing education units. I believe it's 5. And so it's definitely worthwhile to learn from some networking experts. Read the books; they're really, really good. Another thing that we have are the weekly education moments. So you sit there and you listen to them, and you have a choice in terms of what you do with that. You can just say, well, that's a really nice education moment, or you can take from the education moments and come up with your own action items in terms of how you're going to apply that to your membership and your life. Another thing is, if you're ever interested in doing an education moment, that's very valuable too. It gives you a chance to study a topic, to really look at it in depth and present that to the group. And what a lot of you know is that when you can teach a thing, that's when you learn it the best. And so, if you have any interest in sharing a weekly education moment, I'd be happy to have you present to the group. I'll work with you on putting together the resources to present the topic and just kind of the whole format of that. Another thing that's nice about presenting a weekly education moment is that it gives you a ton of visibility and credibility within the group. People get a chance to see you and hear you, and when they hear that you have an understanding of some of these principles or something unique about the way that you do things, it lends a lot of credibility to you within the group, and it makes you, frankly, it makes you more referable. It makes you more networkable. And so, if any of you are interested in that, please let me know. I'd be happy to help you out. A new thing that we're doing is these new extended education moment videos. So I'm going to try and get one out every week. But it's just going to be like a 10-15 minute video that you can watch. It's just going to kind of expand on whatever the education moment was, and we're going to put it in this YouTube channel. So you will have access to all of them. And so they won't be difficult to find. You can go through, you can listen, and you can get some good tips and pointers. Let's see, another new thing is that I'm going to be doing a monthly CEU hour. So this will be like a live broadcast. We'll probably try using Facebook Live. And it's just going to be an hour going over an important topic in our chapter, something that the leadership team feels like the chapter could use some training on. And so we're hoping to make that interactive so you can ask questions as we go. Or you could just watch later and learn some things and count that as 1 hour of CEUs. And so again, that'll also be archived on the YouTube channel so that you have access to those later. Another new thing is that we are going to start doing quarterly education events. So our first one is going to be Ellen Yin's going to present on social media. We're nailing down a date for that, hopefully in our next leadership meeting. But this is going to be an event that will be open to anybody. So a great thing to invite friends to, friends who have businesses, and a great way to expose them to our chapter or to BNI, and also to help out, one of the members of our chapter who is presenting. So every quarter we're going to try and do something like this and just charge a low fee, donate that money to some cause in the community, which also boosts the visibility for our chapter. In addition, there's a new, new, a new member quick start guide, which has been put together by Lisa. And so that will be a document that will be available. One of the things that we really want to emphasize, especially coming into this new BNI year, is that we want to make sure that anybody that we add to the group can quickly get a bead on what our goals are as a chapter, what our culture is as a chapter, and the things that are expected of them, so that everybody can have the maximum level of success. Because we'll come up with some good ideas, we'll get inspired and things like that, but then the people who weren't there for that inspiration or that idea, they don't get to reap the benefit of that, and so that's something that we want to fix. So now is an invitation to you to stop and think. What are you going to do with the information that you have now? So I thought this presentation was excellent. I mean, it was really, really good, but it doesn't matter what I think about that. What really matters is what you choose to do with the information that you have. So take a moment at the end of this video, write down like maybe 2 or 3 things, like commitments that you're making to yourself as to what you're going to do with your BNI education. Maybe you might write down, I would like to give an education moment, or maybe it is time for me to read one of these books, or maybe I can listen to 1 podcast a day, or maybe I could just block out, a whole 4 days and just listen to every podcast that there is. Please don't do that. That's a terrible idea. But what kind of impact is this going to have on your BNI membership? What are you going to do differently that's going to improve your experience in the chapter and the experience of everybody that you network with? So that is it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. You can feel free to leave comments on this video. There will also be links to some of the resources, like where you can get to the podcast, to blogs and other resources that we have in the comments or in the notes on this video. But feel free to leave comments, have some discussion, make some suggestions, and we will see you later.